Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy, Simeon Russell, coming at you with nothing but Knicks. The New York Knicks attended the draft combine today. Fizdale, Scott Perry in attendance. Player interviews, Michael Porter Jr., Colin Sexton. Let's talk about it. What's up, people? What's poppin', man? NBA Draft Combine. I watched it. I was kind of in and out because I was doing some other things. But for the most part, I watched it. And, some interesting things. I watched the interview. Hopefully you guys seen the video I put out a little bit earlier. Watched the interview with Scott Perry, Dave Fizdale, talking about just kind of giving an update on the New York Knicks. And it's all positive, bro. It's all positive. I love it. Really like what I hear, like what I'm seeing. Those two seem to have good chemistry. They seem to have the same mindset, thinking the same way about the New York Knicks. And that's all we can ask for right now. That's all we can ask for. I think that they're making a dynamic duo. And it's going to be a positive. It's going to be a positive result. I like hearing Fizdale use the word championship. Of course, he didn't use the word championship as in right now, but he used it as in bringing a championship to the Knicks. And mates, appreciate it. Second time today, I got a compliment on the hat. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. But, the NBA Combine, the Draft Combine, it's an interesting event, interesting sight. It's very similar, to some things that I've seen in football. But all the measurements that you get from the Combine, you can't. Donovan Mitchell had a very good tweet today, not too long ago, I think, where he said, all the measurements and all those type of things are great, but you've also got to watch your attitude and your personality and your character and things that you're doing, because scouts are looking at everything while they're there. But I definitely think there's some people that help themselves today. And I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into talking about this draft a little bit. I mean, the combine a little bit. I think that it's. I'm glad that the Knicks were there. You know what I'm saying? I know, from what I understand, last year, Phil Jackson and the crew, they kind of didn't go to big things like this. You know what I'm saying? They weren't there. They weren't in attendance. And, so you can understand how it is, well, I don't know. I can't argue too much, because Phil Jackson, I think, did a decent job drafting players. I do like Frank. I thought Billy Hernangomez was good. Of course, we got KP. You know what I'm saying? But other big events that, they just weren't there. If he was there, he was sleeping, But from what I understand and what I read, the Knicks had, not only was Scott Perry there, but it was Scott Perry, Steve Mills, David Fizdale, tons of other coaches, executives and scouts. They're doing their due diligence, and I think it's going to show. It has no choice but to show. They're doing the things that they need to do, and I'm happy about it. I feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? I feel real good about it, and I think that it's going to pay off. Shout out to, did I miss one? Shout out to Marty Knicks, who gets a shout out to Siobhan Robinson. All right, big shout out there. Shout out to Siobhan Robinson. Said, but Game of Zones didn't lie, though. I'm not exactly sure what the reference is. But big shout out to both of you guys for giving me the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Always appreciate it. Let's take a look at some of the results from the combine. Let's take a quick look at this here. And you can grab these results right off of NBA.com. All right, you look at Mo Bamba has a, his standing reach is 9 feet 7, 9 feet 7.5 inches. Mo Bamba's wingspan is 7 foot 10 inches. That's nuts. He's long, crazy long. You gotta love that. It's crazy long. I think Azubuike, he maybe helped himself. You know what I mean? I think he helped himself a little bit today. This guy right here, I'm telling you, I like him. I don't like him at the 9th pick, but I like him. You know what I'm saying? Dante, I can't even say his last name, but I like him. And talk about this guy right here, the Vincenzo. I don't know, I can't say it. I'm sorry. But I like him. I remember watching him I watched him in the championship game, dropped like 31 points. He was killing. He's athletic. He can shoot. I'm hoping that he's there at number 36. I do not believe that he'll be there at number 36. I really do not believe he'll be there, but I'm hoping he'll be there at number 36. Because if he's there at number 36, I think the Knicks got to pick him up. I think you got to pick him up, but I think he's going to go higher than that. I think he helped himself in his combine. You see standing vertical leap, 34.5 inches. And then he tied for the max vertical leap, Josh Okogie at 42 inches. That's a lot of talent, and he can shoot. Okay, Justin Remedy is pronouncing it for me. DiVincenzo. I hope I said that right. DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo. So Dante, if you somehow come across this stream, I apologize for butchering your name, but I think I got it now. DiVincenzo. There we go. But I would love to see him with the Knicks. And I think that we need shooters, guys that can space the floor. He can obviously shoot. He can knock it down, and he's athletic. I don't care that he's a guard. We need guards that can shoot. You know what I mean? And I believe that he's really making a name for himself in his draft. It was actually even recommended by some of the announcers that he'd be done for the weekend, that he'd be done for the rest of the week, and don't scrimmage anymore, because he dropped 31 points in the championship game, and then he played well today. So they kind of recommend him not playing anymore, but he wants to prove that he could do it defensively. So I like that mindset. He wants to prove that he can play with the best of them, and he's betting on himself to move up in the draft. You know what I'm saying? He's betting on himself to move up in the draft. That means he's confident in his abilities, and I like that. I respect that. I respect that for sure. So what we're looking at here is a lot of these guys, are fighting for to get into that first round. See how high they can go with being a second round pick, because most of your lottery picks, choose not to work out. Not to scrimmage. And why do they choose not to scrimmage? Because if they get out there and scrimmage and do not perform well against some of these guys who aren't projected to go as high, then their draft stock might drop, right? So some of these guys, some of your big guys, mostly all of your big guys, are not scrimmaging. Siobhan, you say Perry said the Knicks will look to trade up, and if that's the case, Frank is gone. Dallas was high on Frank last year, so I see it happening. I didn't see where he said. Did he say that in the interview? I looked at the interview several times. I don't remember him saying that, but maybe he did. But just because they look to move up, I don't know if that means Frank is gone. There could be some other people that's available for trade. If he's going to look to move up in the draft. Trey Burke could be a high value, a very high value to a team if he's looking to trade, if he's looking to move up. I wouldn't, because, look, Trey Burke is 25. He makes less money than Frank. And, truth be told, he produced more than Frank last year. Some teams may look and say, you know what? He's ready. Now he's about to, what we thought he would be, he's about to become. You never know. So I'm not ready to say it's definitely going to be Frank that's going to that would be traded if they tried to move up in the draft. I think they like Frank, and I think they like his defensive acumen, and if they can, and his length, obviously. Like Frank fits everything that Scott Perry said they want to build. If you look at my last video, the video I just put out with the interview that Frank and Fizdale did, I'm sorry, that Scott Perry and Fizdale did at the NBA Combine, Scott Perry said they want toughness. They want their players to be tough, defensive-minded, and teamwork, right? Team-oriented. That's Frank. If he fits the values that you want your team to display, why would you trade that? Unless you're going to move up really high and get someone that's going to display those same values. I don't know. But it's possible. If that's the truth, I don't think it's definitely going to be Frank. There's some other people that could move, I believe. Definitely believe there's some other people that can move. You can go on NBA.com and check out the box scores from some of these, from some of the scrimmages. I'm gonna pull up scrimmage number 1 for you all. Scrimmage number 1 was team 1 was white, team 2 was gray, team white won 70-64. You can go down the box scores. A lot of these players, some people aren't going to know. They're not, your everyday household name players. Like I said, these guys are fighting to prove that they belong in that first round and trying to dig there and scrap their way into the first round. But you can see, who's out there and who did what for Team Gray. The Team Gray was led by Kevin Huter, small forward, 11 points, 2 rebounds. Omar Spellman, power forward, had 9 points, 12 rebounds. Chris Wilkes had 13 rebounds, 8 points. Gotta love guys that's gonna go out there and rebound for you. All right, go down to Team White. Azubuike had 14 points and 6 rebounds. Like I said, Azubuike, I think, helped himself for sure with the combine. Elijah Johnson had 12 points, 11 rebounds. Javon Carter had 8 assists, 2 points. Definitely some talent that's on display there. Unfortunately, some of these guys aren't always going to be picked up in the league. But we'll see these guys around. They'll be around. But I want to talk about. Well, let me go back for 1 second, because there was 2 scrimmages today, and then there's going to be 2 scrimmages tomorrow. Scrimmage number 2 is where we see Giannis's younger brother. And there's been some questions about Giannis's younger brother and if he's a prospect, if he could be a prospect for the New York Knicks. And, he could be. Giannis is not going to, I do not think that Giannis is going to move into that. I don't know. My stream looks like it's cutting off. I apologize if the stream is cutting off. Hopefully we get back on soon enough. Hopefully, okay, it says the stream is resumed. I don't know what's going on. It's been acting real funny lately. I don't know if it's me or if it's YouTube. Or I just got too many people doing things in the house using the internet. Sucking up all the resources. I might have to get my own internet line if that's what's happening. You know what I mean? So hopefully the stream is back and we're back strong and ready to go. But like I said, it's the hat. It might be the hat. You know what I mean? But it's been a lot of weather going on lately that could be affecting things. But anyway, Giannis's younger brother. We see Giannis' younger brother was playing in the second game. He didn't produce what you would hope that, Kostas, he didn't produce what you would have hoped that he would have produced. You know what I mean? He was in -7. He had 2 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. But you know what? He's young. He's got some time to grow. And he's fighting to see if he can. We had one already. We had the older brother. But you know what? Sometimes the younger brothers, they learn from the older guys and they come back a little bit better. But I'm gonna tell you, when I seen him today, I wasn't that impressed. He is 6'9". A lot of length. Right? I don't know. But I wasn't too impressed by him. So he'll get a chance again. He'll get a chance to play tomorrow again, maybe. And he'll get to maybe show up. You know what I'm saying? He'll get to maybe show up. We probably, we may be able to get him undrafted because I think there's going to be some talent even at that 36 spot. Kenny Black, you say he's going to be better than Giannis. I disagree there, but we may be able to get him undrafted. I don't think he's going to be better than Giannis. You never know. You know what I'm saying? No, people didn't know Giannis was going to be Giannis. But let's talk about some of these prospect meetings that the Knicks had. The Knicks met with some players today. I think they're planning on meeting with 20 players throughout today and tomorrow, something like that. Or maybe it was 20 players a day. I don't know. But they're planning on meeting with a few players. We know that they have met with, we'll get right to it. They've met with Michael Porter Jr. And I think, obviously, Knicks fans are going to be very interested. I'm interested because I think at 9, okay, so with Michael Porter Jr. at 1, 2, or 3 right now, I'm not sure because of so many questions. And someone just called in through Skype. I'm not ready to jump on any calls yet. I'm going to jump on some calls in a minute. So call back. I'll let you know when I'm about to open it up. But Michael Porter Jr., right now, obviously he has top 3 talent. I still, just like in previous shows, I think he needs to develop his skill. He needs to develop his fundamentals. But at the 9th pick, if he can drop to us at 9, I do not believe you can pass on him. You got to take him. You know, people are, of course, concerned about his back and the amount of games that he played in college. I wish that he would have played this weekend. I keep saying this weekend. Maybe because I played this weekend. I wish that he would have played this week. I believe if he would have played this week, I believe he would have had the chance to improve his stock, help himself. I mean, he could have hurt himself too. You know, he could have dropped a little bit lower if he would have played this weekend and didn't perform well. And maybe that was the concern. Maybe they don't believe he's in as good a shape as these other guys because, you know, he had to sit out for such a lengthy period. So maybe that's the reason why they chose for him not to scrimmage. I would think a guy who's trying to climb back into that top 3 would want to scrimmage, but maybe he's happy going at 8 or 9. Happy going at 8 or 9. Right now, many mock drafts have him going at 8, 1 before the Knicks. If he's there at 9, do we take him? In my opinion, you do, because, you know, the talent is there, and if you believe in your skill development program, then maybe you can develop him. So, you know, that's a question. Do you move up? Do you try to move up to get him? Do you try to move up 1 to try to get him? You know, yeah, Derek McFadden, he is perfect at 9 because, you know, at 9 is that area where you're like, if a talented player like that drops to you, then you say, okay, we know that there's some questions, but we're in that area where we can really take a chance. You know what I'm saying? We can take a chance on this guy, and it'll be a good chance, a good risk. You know, because of the way you're drafting. If you're at number 1 or 2 or 3 in this draft, you probably don't. You don't take that risk. But, you know, if you can get him at 9, if he drops to you at 9, then definitely. But see, my thing is, I think that if he gets to 8, Cleveland's already in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's an easy risk to take. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes over the next few weeks. You know, we have 35 days or so until the draft, and you know, the Knicks are going to hold workouts. They'll do more interviews, and it's going to be very interesting to see where that goes with Michael Porter Jr. I don't know if you move up, though. I don't know if you move up to get him, because there's going to be talented players that can drop to you. Not drop to you. There's going to be talented players in your draft class or in your draft range. There's going to be talented players. I just don't know if you move up just to get him, because there's going to be players that you can get. Why give up assets if you can still get possibly an all-star player one day in that range? Now I see, who do I just see up there? Somebody, CP the artist said Cleveland needs a point guard. I agree. They do need a point guard. But if you can pull in a talent, if Michael Porter Jr. is who people say he is and can be, and you're Cleveland and you have the chance to take him at 8, and you're still going to be a contender the next year, as long as LeBron James stays. Can you pass on that? I don't know if you can pass on it. I don't know. I don't know if you can pass on that. I mean, if I'm Cleveland, I probably take him, because I can always trade him. You know, his tradability is going to be good for at least 3 years. Any rookie that was projected to be a high pick and dropped but they still have that talent. Teams are still going to be intrigued. And you have tradability within that 3-year period. You still have some tradability. So I think that they probably take a chance on him. If you look at, some people saying players are going to drop. I mean, people saying, that Mikal Bridges won't be there for the Knicks or whatever it is. If not, then there's going to be some people that drop that will be good for the Knicks. I'm on Tankathon right now, and I'm going to pull this over here because it's changed since we last looked at it. Of course, DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, 1 and 2, Jaren Jackson at 3, Marvin Bagley at 4, Mo Bamba at 5, Trae Young at 6, Michael Porter Jr. at 7 with the Bulls, Wendell Carter at 8, Mikal Bridges at 9. Now, if Mikal Bridges goes up, that means someone, Wendell Carter, Michael Porter, one of these guys drops. It's not going to be Ayton, Luka, Jaren Jackson, Marvin Bagley. Those guys not dropping. I doubt Mo Bamba is going to drop either. So then it's going to be Trae Young, Michael Porter Jr., Wendell Carter that drops. Right? Any of those players are going to be good players. You know what I mean? Any of them are going to be good players. And you look at that top 8, all of them are freshmen. Even Luka, Luka's 19. He would be a freshman here in the States. All these guys are freshmen. It's crazy. Except for Mikal, who's a junior. Now, people think Mikal's not going to be there. Some people think he's not going to be there. Looking at, so he's not going 1, 2, or 3. Talk about Bridges. Mikal Bridges is not going 1, 2, or 3. He's not going 4. I do not believe. So now we're looking in this area. So the question is going to be, if the Magic want a guard in Trae Young, Dallas wants a center, you're looking at the Bulls. So then the question is, do the Bulls want Porter Jr., a young guy, or do they want Mikal Bridges? Either way, if you're looking at this here, if we're looking at this here, and we can go and we can look at some other boards too. But if we're looking at this here, that means the Knicks is either Michael Porter Jr. is going to drop to you or Bridges is going to be there. You're probably looking good either way. I think you're probably looking good either way. If there's a surprise and like the Hawks take Bridges, that means someone like Jaren Jackson or Marvin Bagley drops, depending on who the Hawks would draft. If they take Michael Porter, one of them guys going to drop. The Knicks are in a good spot, I think. You know what I'm saying? I think the Knicks are in a good spot. Based on what, we can only deal with what we have, but we're in a good position to get a very good player. Zaire Smith. Zaire Smith is fighting to get himself up into the lottery. Right now he's at 11 going to Charlotte. He had a good combine. He's trying to push himself up into the lottery. Now, boom, I just see Kenny Black say the Hawks need a guard because Dennis Schroeder no longer wants to be in Atlanta. So now that does change some things. That changes a lot, right? Because if they can't work that out by the draft, and so a lot hinges on what the Hawks do. When we look at this top 3 here, and we're going to move on, we're going to look at another draft. ESPN put up a draft. We're going to look at what ESPN says as well. But, so now you're looking here, the Hawks may take Trae Young. right? Or Colin Sexton. You know, who's going to be probably, these two are going to be the top 2 point guards. So now Schroeder wants out, which means something around here, you know, whoever the Hawks may have taken may fall out unless they have some other options. Right? I don't know what the Hawks have in the second round. I don't know. The Hawks picked 34th. And they picked 30th. Okay? Hey. So now we're talking about the Hawks need a point guard, but they picked 34th and 30th. Those are 2 positions. They can put those together and move up higher in the draft. Right? I can see them putting those 2 together. Wait a minute. They picked 19th as well. The Hawks are all over the place. I don't know. The Hawks are all over the place. So if you're looking now, you know, that 3rd pick, they can continue they can go ahead and get Jaren Jackson Jr. at that 3rd pick and couple 2 of these picks. They had 3 picks in the first round. They can couple 2 of these picks, move up to, you know, maybe move up to the 12th spot. Maybe trade with the Clippers and move up to that 12th spot and get Colin Sexton. Right? And then the Clippers will have the 13th and the 30th pick. 13th and the 19th pick, or whatever it is. Right? Or however they trade. You know, if they really want a point, the Hawks are in a position to make a splash in this draft. With 3 first-round picks, the Hawks are in a position to really shake some things up. I don't know if you keep those 3 first-round picks or you look to move up. Couple 2 of them and move up, and you still have 2 first-round picks. It is totally possible that the Hawks and the Clippers could really make a splash. Yeah, we're going to take some calls soon. Right? Could really make a splash, because if I'll say it again, if the Hawks can take the 19th pick, the 30th pick, couple it, trade it with the Clippers for the 12th pick, then that would mean the Hawks would have the 3rd pick and the 12th pick, where they can go ahead and draft Jaren Jackson or whoever they're going to draft there, and then maybe get a Colin Sexton at number 12. And then the Clippers would have the 13th pick, the 19th pick, and the 30th pick for a team that was close to making the playoffs in the West. I think a lot of things are going to hinge on the Clippers and the Hawks when we're talking about this year's draft. I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent and stopped talking. You know, I got off away from the Knicks prospects meetings, but I think that's important. I think that's important for us to know. You know, that a lot of things are going to hinge on the Hawks, mainly the Hawks, because of what's going on with Dennis Schroeder. A lot of things are going to hinge on the Hawks. And because the Clippers have 2 picks right next to each other, those 2 teams I could see dancing. I could see them dancing together and making a splash in the draft next month. You know, so we need to watch that. But even if they decided to take a point guard at 3, now you're talking about some more players dropping. You know, the Knicks are going to get a good player. I don't think we should worry too much. The Knicks are going to get a good player, and it's we got to depend on Scott Perry and those guys to make sure that they're scouting. You know, we got people all over the NBA combine, so you know, hopefully those guys are doing their due diligence and they're doing it well. The Knicks also interviewed Colin Sexton. right? Which means that they look at him as a possibility. You know, he's Colin Sexton's 6 foot. I think when I seen the tail of the tape, he's 6 foot with his shoes off, about 6'1" with his shoes on. He's a small point guard, but he's a feisty defender. You know, yeah, 6'2" with shoes on. He's a feisty defender. He's fast, so he's going to be a De'Aaron Fox kind of guy, right? And I'm sure there's going to be more reports to come out about who the Knicks have interviewed and what they're looking at. There are reports out there. There's a report by Mark Berman that says Mikal Bridges could be an all-star for the Knicks. It's possible, maybe. His buddy Dante. I'm about to mess up his name again. I just can't get it right. I'm gonna just say Dante. His buddy Dante believes that he is a top 5 pick. As a character person, and that brings, and that's what he brings to an organization. It would be nice. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I would definitely like to get Dante and Mikal Bridges at 9 and 36. I believe Dante is gonna move up higher, but I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would consider that a very successful draft. If we walked out of there with Mikal Bridges and Dante, I would consider that a pretty successful draft. And I think both of those players would make the team. Well, obviously, your first round pick is going to make the team, but I think Dante would make the team. I think he'd be our Ron Baker. You know what I mean? He'd be our he'd move Ron Baker out the way. He'd do what Ron Baker is supposed to do, I think, if we were to get him. CP, you say you don't see an all-star in Bridges. I don't know. Dante obviously thinks so, but that's his boy. They're buddies. And, we're going to see what happens there. But I definitely I would not be disappointed. I would be excited if we were able to bring both of those guys in through the draft. That'd be a very good draft for us. I think that we'd make ourselves a lot better if we were able to bring in those two. I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm going to open up the phone lines. Give me a call. Talk to me a little bit. Let's talk about, let me know if you watched the combine, what you've seen from the combine, who you're impressed with, who you think moved up in the draft. Who you like to see the Knicks get. If there's any moves that you want to see the Knicks make. Right? Because this is going to be a good time for the Knicks. I can feel it. My man Isaiah on the line. Let me get my man Isaiah up and popping. My man Isaiah, what's popping, brother?
What's going on, son? Blackest time. Shout out to the chat. What's going on?
Did you watch the combine today?
Nah, but thankfully, thank God for you, man. I got to watch the interview with I was at work the whole time. I couldn't watch it, but I'm glad you posted that David Fisdale and Scott Perry thing. Thanks for that.
No problem, bro. No problem. So, what do you think about the interview and what they said?
Everything, I'm gonna say this. They're consistent on what they say. And I think it's really, and I love Scott Perry. I love Scott Perry, man, because like even David Fizzo said today that this was the first time anybody let me come into the draft combine and let me in on what they're doing, and that's really big, and I'm excited. But honestly, I was watching the combine through my phone, basically through Bleacher Report. So I see. I'm kind of pretty much up to date what's going on.
Okay.
Because I know the Knicks interviewed Mikal, Colin, Michael Porter. I know they're interviewing Trey tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I think they interviewing Mo Bamba too. I think Mo Bamba's tomorrow or Saturday. He's one of those days.
Yeah.
I think Mo Bamba's
tomorrow. Okay. And that's a good idea, because I'm going to say it's definitely possible that Scott Perry has something in the works where maybe he can move up, slide up in the draft, and it's possible that Mo Bamba slides down. Yeah. After looking at his measurements, I don't know if he's going to slide down after looking at his measurements, man.
His measurements is crazy. But you know what scares me about Mo Bamba, man?
What's that?
I don't know. Well, I know he's the guy. He went to UConn. Remember that guy, like in 2010, Tobias, or I forgot his name, but he played for UConn. It started with a T. His last name was a T, and he was supposed to be the next big. He had the same wing. I think he had a bigger wingspan than the Mo Bamba. I can't think of his name.
Who drafted him?
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Mo Bamba's not him though. He's not Thabit. He's not Thabit. You talk about Hasheem Thabit. He's not Shabit. Like, Mo Bamba has a little bit of body to him and athleticism. Shabit was like a new age Sean Bradley or something. You know what I mean? And not even as good as Sean Bradley. He was real skinny. He couldn't really do much but be long and block shots. Now, I don't think Mo Bamba is going to be. You have to worry about that with Mo.
Yeah, but I mean, from what from the landscape of how the draft is going, and my predictions, I do think Mikal's going to land to us. I think he is, because just looking at the needs, what really changed to me what's going to happen was that Kings moving up. I think that's going to be a blessing for us if we do get Mikal, because I know they were looking for a wing, and I think it's pretty much locked in that they're going to get Luka Doncic. They're pretty much going to probably get him, because I was already looking at DeAndre Ayton account, and he already got the gorilla as his emoji. So that kind of I don't know if I don't think he's supposed to do that. I think somebody got to tell him about that. But
I mean, I guess he can do whatever. He's not in the NBA yet, so there's no kind of tampering or anything like that. He can do whatever he wants, I guess.
Yeah, so he's going. We all know DeAndre is going to the Suns, and then Luka Doncic is pretty much a lock to go to the Kings. So that freed up a small forward. So I think, and I can't see Cleveland if Trae Young's on there. I can't see them passing up, because they need a point guard like yesterday. So I think we're definitely going to get Mikal. If not, like I said yesterday, if we don't get Mikal, we're going to get the other Bridges.
Miles.
Yeah, I think we're going to get Miles.
If Porter Jr. is there, who do you take? Mikal. Well, if Porter Jr. is there, Mikal Bridges probably isn't going to be there. So if Porter Jr. is there, do you take Porter Jr.? You take Miles?
Oh, Porter Jr. 10 times out of 10. My only concern, and this would be my only concern, which is the pretty obvious concern, is why did he go 8 spots? Is his back really that much of an issue?
I think that is, just from what I've listened to and read, I think it's just more concern of not seeing him actually play against the top level competition.
Yeah, because I mean, the only way I see if his back is healthy and him going to the Knicks is him saying, "Yo, I'm not giving y'all my physical papers because I only want to go to the Knicks. I'm not working out for y'all. I'm not interviewing for y'all." That's, to me, the only way I can see him moving, if him literally going all the way to number 9, is him saying, "Hey, I only want to play for the Knicks." That's the only thing.
I mean, they, people got him at 8 already, just because they're not sure of They know the talent is there, but they're not sure about everything else.
Yeah, I know. It's just, man, it's just, it's a tough one because Lord knows if he doesn't work out, the media storm that's gonna happen with that guy,
wherever he is, yeah. Maybe,
man, listen, man.
depending on where he's drafted. If he's drafted at 9, I don't know if. I mean, in New York, there's going to be a media storm anyway, right? Because if you draft him at 9 and then he doesn't pan out, then everyone's going to say, oh, you drafted a guy that had a back problem when you could have got this guy or that guy. Then if you don't draft him and he pans out, then everyone's going to say you should have drafted him.
You know what
it's going to happen in New York anyway.
You know what I love, Sim? What I love about the media? How when somebody we go past, they become good. It's always just the Knicks.
Yeah, I know.
It's always just the Knicks that pass off. Like that whole Dennis Smith, that got me so aggravated when he should have been a Knick. I'm like, yo, 8 teams pass on him too, right?
Yeah. And it's even worse with Donovan Mitchell because Donovan Mitchell went 13. You got 12 other teams that passed on him. The kid could be rookie of the year, but everyone says the Knicks passed on him. People that aren't even Knicks fans, they say the Knicks passed on him. It's crazy.
And I'm like, come on, brother. I'm like, yeah. It is crazy because I'm like, no. And this is what's really interesting about this draft because nobody knows. We can say this and that, but until they all play, we don't know.
You don't know. That's the truth.
That's the truth. But
hey, Isaiah, man. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that's trying to call in. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Oh, wait, you figure out you're going to the draft yet?
I'm not sure yet. I'm still looking at my calendar because I'm trying to get these tournaments that we have, trying to get those things out the way, and make sure that they're scheduled. And if I have fundraisers and things I got to do to make sure that we have everything we need. But I'm gonna know soon enough. I have been looking. I haven't even seen the tickets posted yet. So
I know I've been looking for them too. I don't see them, but I know you're gonna figure it out later. So I'm gonna let you go.
All right, man.
Man. Good, man.
Peace, bro. Peace. Thank you for the call. Sir. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a pretty interesting time. And here we go. We got another call coming in. My man Tony Crow on the line. My man Tony Crow, what's poppin', bro?
Yo, Black, it's time. Shout out to the chat. What's good, son?
I'm chilling, man. You watch? Did you get a chance to watch the combine today?
I did not. I've been at work all day.
Okay.
I seen you had posted something, and then when I got home, I was going to check that, and I seen you was live. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was interview. It was an interview with Scott Perry and David Fisdale. You know okay. They did a pretty good interview. The big thing that I took out of it is, Scott Perry. He said toughness, defense, and a team first mentality. That's what he's trying to bring to the Knicks. And when he's going out, because they asked him when you, and I'm gonna play a clip of it a little bit. They asked him when you coached with Detroit, when you was an assistant coach with Detroit. What was it that helped you bring that team together to win a championship? And he said, their mindset was toughness, defense, and team first mentality. He said, and we stuck to our guns no matter what happened. We stuck to our values, and that's what we're trying to do in New York. So I'm with that, and I respect that 100%. I like to hear that.
That's good. That's good to hear. That's definitely good to hear. Fill me in on the combine real quick if you watch I
watched the combine. I'm gonna tell you, Mo Bamba's measurements are crazy. 7'10" wingspan. You know what I'm saying? That's nuts. The guy from, I can't say his last name. I said it earlier. They showed me how to say it in the chat. But then I still can't say it. The kid Dante from Villanova, the redhead kid that can shoot.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Dante Da Vinci Code, man.
Yeah. I've been hearing his measurements and his
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, he tied for in vertical leap. He tied for number one with 42 inches. The kid could shoot. He performed well in the scrimmages, and he was projected to be like a late, like maybe an early second round pick. I think he's gonna move into the first round. I really do. I think he's gonna move there. I would like to see the Knicks find a way to get him. If they, like I said earlier, if they could get him, I think he's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Cause he could shoot. He could shoot lights out.
He could shoot lights out. Everything that we want Ron Baker to be, he is. And I think he could do that in the NBA. He was a lot of people, I guess probably his agent and people had advised him or said, you really don't have to scrimmage at the combine. Just go give your measurements and things because you already dropped 31 points in the championship game. You kind of proved yourself. You can really rest on your laurels with that. But he wanted to prove that he can defend. Anyway. He wanted to prove that he can play with some of these top players, and he played anyway. And
you know what?
And he did well.
That's what I love. That's what I love about the combine in itself, because a lot of guys won't even show up. You know, a lot of guys is scared, and you can tell the ones who show up, they want to prove themselves.
Yep.
They don't care who they're going up against. They want to show that they feel like they can make it with anybody.
Yeah. So his last name is DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo. Yeah.
Like, I know how to say that right because, the Knicks might like him. I really do. I stop
bothering trying to figure out names because everybody's gonna get a nickname.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody's gonna get a nickname, but I think he'd, man, if we could walk away with him and Mikal, I think that'd be a win. I think that would be a win.
We kind of heavy in the guard area though.
Yeah, but I think
especially with Mikal being more so of a two, playing the 3 and the 2.
Yeah, but I think that we're heavy in the guard area, true. But I think then we'd be looking at moving like maybe moving around Baker or doing something with Ron Baker because he stepped right into that spot, and then Moutier. You know what I'm saying? Because like Scott Perry said, right now he's in the talent acquisition phase. They asked him about that again in the interview, and he said, right now we are in the talent acquisition phase. It's not about positions. It's about getting the best player and pulling in the best talent that we can. Some people think that he's just kind of, trying to see what's out there, but I think he's serious about it. I think he seriously just wants to pull in the most talent that he can and then sort it out later.
Yeah, I mean, we got the time, considering we don't know when KP's coming back.
Right.
You seen Kyle O'Quinn on the Deezer Samaro show?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, he was on there. He sound like he want to come back.
I think he does.
He sound like he ain't even a free agent, honestly.
Yeah, I think he does want to come back.
He talking like he's still Nick, or I guess he is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think he does want to come back, and I think I'm gonna tell you what. I like Cantor, but he continues to post all this stuff on social media, about is he opting in, opting out. He had an image up today where,
I seen it.
He said my legs want to opt out, but my chest or whatever it is wants to opt in. Yeah. And I'm getting tired of that a little bit, man. Just do what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Don't tease the fans. Don't try to get the fans to get sympathy from the fans, or not sympathy, but try to get the fans to say stay and all that. Just do what you're gonna do, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't see him turning down that money.
Me neither.
I really don't.
Me neither. The only way that I see him turning it down is if sometimes a player, if they make it $18 million, they say, well, I'm making $18 million this year, But if I can get $10 million over the next 5 years or 6 years, well, no more 6 years, 5 years, then I'll do that. Or $12 million over the next 5 years. You know, then maybe he looks at something like that. You know, trying to get a smaller yearly contract, but over a longer amount of time. Who knows?
But in that situation, is it even legal to have contact with? Because I would assume you're going in blind. You're either taking a chance on yourself, or you're rocking with the contract that you have that you know is guaranteed. Like he doesn't know who's gonna offer what. You know what I mean?
Right. Not exactly. He doesn't know. But I think though, you know, your agent. I think your agents. I mean, it's backdoor talk all the time. So I think your agents, you know, go out there and kind of test the water. Say, you know, what would you give a guy like Cantor? Or, you know, just kind of test those waters a little bit and see what teams would be willing to do, what teams would think about doing for Cantor. And, you know, I'm not sure when the next CBA is, but sometimes that CBA comes into play in whether or not a guy wants to have a shorter contract or a longer contract, because you may want to secure your money that goes beyond the next CBA just to make sure that you're good.
That was Melo's issue.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, so I think that next CBA, I'm not sure. I forgot. I'm not sure when it is, but you know, that could come into play.
I think there's still time though. I think there's at least two more years. Cause wasn't it like last summer?
There was an extension of something, I thought, last summer. Some kind of extension, I thought. Something like that. Oh, it was
an extension. Okay, I thought it was like a whole new agreement.
But
if it was an extension,
yeah, I think there was an extension because they're talking about in the next CBA having, you know, doing something with kids doing, you know, being one and done in college, possibly letting them in the NBA after high school. You know, so there's some discussion going on and ideas going on about this next CBA.
If the NBA was really smart, they would raise the salary in the G League and have it as a real minor league system,
right? Where
you can draft these guys and develop them there. It'll make the G League better, and you know, it'll give teams more options to take a risk on a player.
Yeah.
Or like a player out of high school or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball does it.
Taking a quick look at this Wikipedia, it says in 2016, the NBA and the NBA Players Association met to work on a new CBA, which both sides approved in December of that year. So that's the most recent thing that I think we're talking about. The most recent agreement will start 2017-18, this year, and run through 2023-24 with a mutual opt-out after 22-23. So, you know, Cantor probably wouldn't be looking towards that, you know, next CBA, because that's 5 years from now. Anyway.
If he opts out, would you re-sign him? Or would you... would you let the market set the value for him, or would you offer him something right away?
If Cantor opted out with the situation that we're in, if KP was coming back, right, or say KP never got hurt, I may consider, you know, signing him a little bit longer, you know, to a cheaper contract, but longer. I don't know. I don't know. I probably wouldn't go past 2000. I wouldn't want to go past 2019 though. You know, if I'm looking at being a player in 2019 free agency. But right now, I wouldn't sign him. If he opted out, I'd let it go so that I can have. Yeah, I'd let him walk because, you know, I can sign Kyle O'Quinn for cheaper, who, you know, he may not be able to score, but he can give me better defense, rebound almost as good. And I can probably pick up somebody out the draft, an undrafted rookie, or bring in someone else that can help us, through free agency with that $18 million that's freed up. That's going to be a lot less. You know what I mean? I think I'd let him walk.
Shot.
Yeah, give Cornette a shot. I think I'd let him walk. If he opts out, I'd let him walk.
I agree.
Yeah, because I don't think right now, I don't think the Knicks I don't think they really want to sign anything long term unless it's a really good deal and somebody that they're really looking at having long term. I don't think they want to sign anything too long beyond 2019, 2020. And with David Fizdale in the fold and the way I think he wants to play, I don't know if Kanter's going to fit that. I think he wants
to. Real quick, can you pull up the Clippers salary cap?
Yeah. Let's check that out.
Because I'm wondering if there's a way we could offer them something to move back and take their 2 picks for our 1. Maybe if a Colin Sexton's available and they really want him.
Who, the Clippers?
and they don't. Yeah. Because I definitely still do that move. I want 2 picks, man. I want 2 picks in the first round.
So the Clippers, their team payroll for 2017-18 is $119,000. I mean, in order for this to happen, they would either need money before the draft, open money before the draft to take on his contract and they give us a draft pick, or they would need to, we'd have to come to an agreement. Okay, you draft this guy for us, and then when free agency starts, we make this trade or whatever it is. Like he opts in and then we make a trade, something like that. But, they still have, is DeAndre Jordan opting out for sure? He has an opt-out clause.
I haven't heard that.
DeAndre
I haven't heard that, and I don't think he would opt out.
I don't think he would either.
I think he'd ask for a trade before he opts out.
Because, he has a player option this year, so he has to do something. Right?
Yeah, so I would think he opts in. He just, that's the big money deal he signed.
Yeah, I mean, he's due $24 million at the next year.
There's no way.
You know what I mean?
No way he opts out.
So with that, I don't know where Kanter would even fit there.
No. I'm talking about swapping number 9 for 12 and 13.
Oh, okay. Number 9 for 12 and 13. See, I don't think they do it. And you know why? Because, and we was talking about this earlier, the Hawks have 3 picks in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
They have the 3rd pick, the 19th pick, and the 30th pick.
I heard you saying the Hawks possibly trying to move up.
Yeah, I think if anything would happen, I think they would maybe trade one of those if I was the Clippers. And if the Hawks really want to move up and try to get a point guard because of what's going on with Dennis Schroeder, I try to get that 30th and 19th pick, give them the 12th pick so they can get Dennis Schroeder. And then the Clippers would have the 13th pick, the 19th pick, and the 30th pick. And then, the Hawks can get themselves a big man and get themselves a point guard.
I was just hoping they was so high on Sexton, and if he's available for us, maybe we could work something out that way. Because we don't draft Sexton could potentially fall, and then they're fine. But if we threaten to, if we know that's who they want,
yeah,
see how much they want him.
Yeah, I feel you. It's gonna be a
real nice draft. It's gonna be a lot of movement.
Yep, it's gonna be a lot of movement in the draft. It's gonna be really interesting with what goes on in the draft this year. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun, and the Knicks gonna be caught right up in the middle of it. I think.
I hope so.
I think they're gonna be caught up in the middle of it. But I'm not gonna be mad if they end up just sticking with with where they are. But I think they at least try to get another second round pick because Philadelphia has all kinds of picks in the second round, and they can't pay all those guys.
And that's kind of what I was thinking with the Clippers as well. Their roster is pretty set with all the trades they made and picking up the players. They don't have the spots to even pick up too many guys. Same thing with Philly. Same thing with there's another team like that. What day is the draft? Do you know?
I think the draft is June 21st, I believe.
All right. Yeah, if you know that you're going, let me know, cause I'm definitely gonna be in New York that day. I don't know if I'm going, but if you going, I'm gonna go. We can meet up and maybe get some fans to.
Yeah, that'll be what's up, man. That'll be what's up. I'm gonna try to check it out and see what's going on. I've been looking for tickets. I haven't seen any tickets on sale yet, but I'm gonna be looking. I'll definitely let you guys know what's up.
Yeah, maybe we do that and go to Clyde's Wine and Dine after or something.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be what's up. That'll work. Shoot,
but, shout out to the chat. I'm gonna let somebody else call in.
All right, man.
Keep doing your thing.
For sure. Man. Peace, bro.
Your blackest time. One.
Peace. Yes, folks. A lot of things gonna be going on with the draft this year. It's gonna be exciting. You know, and I am hoping to get up to the June 24th. Okay, Knicks Fan TV says June 24th. I am hoping to maybe get to the draft. If not get to the draft, I might just roll up there and meet some people at Clyde's Wine and Dine, and we just chill out there and watch the draft together. You know what I'm saying? And then get on the show. You know what I mean? Manuel, what's popping, bro?
What's up, guys? Long time no see, chat. Well, long time no talk. It's been a while.
Yeah, for sure.
But to be honest, with this whole draft process, I've been, ever since like about a month ago, I have been infatuated with Mo Bamba. I feel like
I remember
if Scott Perry could just move up and get him, I feel like the Knicks will be set, because I just imagine rim protection down low with him and KP flying from each side of the court. Who's gonna try and get easy layups on this?
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I just think he's gonna be probably top 5 pick. I don't know if we're gonna get up there.
Well, to be honest, a lot of people, like I've seen that. We're trying to get to the top 5 is really hard, but that's the thing. I feel like if he drops, I don't think he is gonna drop below the top 5. But if he somehow drops below the top 5, I feel like we'll be able to snag him up.
Yeah, that we'd be able to snag him up.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Scott Perry could just make that move. And I feel like, I don't know, because a lot of people have been saying that if the Knicks really want Mo Bamba, they should give up a future first rounder to get him. I would try to avoid that as much as possible. But I feel like he's just that prospect that's worth giving up a future first for.
I think so. And just let me before we go on, the draft is June 21st. Thursday is June 21st. That's when the draft is. I just wanted to give people let everybody know that real quick. You can go right on the NBA.com and look at their important dates, and you got the draft, because I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna get up to the draft or not. And then June 25th are the 2018 NBA awards. But go ahead, keep going.
Well, just that. I just really, I feel like with Mo Bamba in the mix, I feel like that will be the core that the Knicks can build off of for the next, 6 to 10 years, possibly. We can live off of that, because I'm not, I'm a young Knicks fan. I'm only 24, so I can't really tell you about, the whole Oakley and Mace mix up in the 90s, but I feel like if we can get Bamba and KP, we're gonna have a somewhat better version of that, because nobody's gonna come down easy anymore like they did in the 90s. It's not gonna happen. I feel like that's what we need. We just need, because like you said, with Fizdale's way, how he plays the game, and if we're able to get Bamba, we're gonna become an intimidating team again, which I feel like that's what New York needs.
So you think So you think giving up a 2019 draft pick would be worth it to move up and get Mo Bamba?
I feel like he's worth it. Worth it, and yeah, he's completely worth the 2019 pick. I know there's a lot of guys coming out in 2019 that are going to be good, like R.J. Barrett, Zion Williamson, guys like that. But I feel like Mo Bamba is a guy that you can't pass up.
That's interesting. But then what do we do in 2019? Now we trade in a couple of chips to get Mo Bamba, and then if I think Mo Bamba is going to be a good player in the NBA, maybe have a chance to be an all-star in the NBA, but right now we need talent. Or do you think that that's enough talent? Frank, KP, and Mo Bamba, that's enough talent. And then, of course, we got to add some pieces around there. But you feel that's a good nucleus to build. You think that's a strong nucleus right there?
Yes, I feel like with those three guys and the way they develop, because I feel like we'll have a OKC type nucleus where we'll just have those three guys in house developing with us, and then once they're developed, the guys are just gonna want to come and play with them.
That's a thought. And obviously the Knicks can trade the 2019 pick because we have the 2018 pick, we have our 2020 pick, so they can trade the 2019 pick if they want to try to move up.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's really gonna happen. So I'm on. Since we're most likely won't be getting Bamba, I'm on team Mikal Bridges. If not Mikal Bridges, I'm actually with I've seen some people talk about this prospect of trading down with the 9th pick and just picking up Kevin Knox with one of the Clipper picks.
Yeah, but I don't think the Clippers do it. I don't think they want the 9th. They're gonna want the 9th pick enough to give up the 12th and 13th pick.
Yeah, I can see that possibility.
Especially if they want a point guard and they can get Colin Sexton, who's going to be one of the top 2 point guards in the draft, and they can get him at 12. I don't know. I just don't think they give up the 12th and 13th for the 9th. I think they would, like I was saying earlier, I think they'd be more likely to move down to use one of those picks to trade with Atlanta, so that Atlanta can move up and maybe get Colin Sexton because of what's going on with, depending on what happens with Dennis Schroeder, and then they have the 13th, 19th, and 30th pick.
Oh, okay.
I think the Clippers would be more likely to do that than to give up their 2th pick. I can see if they were giving up the 12th and 13th for the 3rd pick. Right?
Yeah, that's a possibility, yeah.
I could see if they were doing that, but I don't think they'd do it for the 9th pick. I think they'd be more likely to trade one of them picks down and try to pick up 2 picks to Atlanta, because Atlanta, they got picks for days.
Yeah, they're on a full rebuild mode. They're already doing a better job than the Knicks, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
But Sim, I wanted to ask you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have what players in this draft do you feel like are like those sleeper players, those players like as a Donovan Mitchell-esque, like you feel like he's gonna drop out of the lottery and all of a sudden it's gonna be one of those players that are like in Rookie of the Year talks next year?
Wow, that's a good one. I'm not sure. It could be guys actually moving up that do it instead of dropping down, like Dante, and I still forgot how to say his name. Dante from Villanova. I don't know if he's going to be a Rookie of the Year candidate, but I really think that guy's on the move up.
And also, who's another guy whose stock is rising because of his good first day of the combine? The kid from Duke, he has like a tripping problem, but he's still a good player in a sense. Grayson Allen.
Who's that?
He's one of the Duke players. Supposedly, I forgot. I was like reading up on it earlier. They said that his speed going up a lane in the court is one of the highest speeds that's ever been recorded in the combine.
Wow. Yeah. See. Yeah.
But the problem with him is the simple thing that he has. He's very, very he's gonna be a second round player just because it's not his ability that's in question, it's his attitude. He has a big attitude problem.
Yeah, see. And, you know, Donovan Mitchell tweeted earlier, you know, just about players having those attitude problems, and because coaches and scouts, everybody, they're watching. Yeah. You know, hey, man, I'm gonna get off because I know I got some other people that's gonna call in. I appreciate the call.
No problem.
All right.
Shout out to the chat. And one more thing before I go, because I see Knicks Fan TV on the live chat. I feel like you guys need to sit down and do a collab episode one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days we're gonna talk. We talked about it before. We hit each other up before and talked about it. It's gonna happen at one of these times. We're gonna do something together.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to that.
You know what I'm saying? Because they you know, they got a good thing going on over there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to that. That's
for sure.
That's for me.
Yeah, definitely. I respect him for coming in, showing me some love too. I appreciate
it. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too, man. Peace. I got my man Ron Cleveland on the line. The call's coming in fast and furious. Ronald, what's up, bro?
Man, ain't much, Simmons, man. Hey, as always, man. You know what time it is, man. We back, man.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why we back. Because everything I'm hearing us preaching, man, they ain't preaching nothing but defense, and I'm loving that. We can find anybody to shoot the ball, but you need some studs, man. And I'm telling you, what I'm seeing right now, I'm loving what Scott Perry is saying, man. And I'm just like I said the other day when we were on, I cannot remember the time that I've ever heard Knicks front office inform the fans this much of what the plan is. Right. And that's why everybody should just trust that them guys know what they're doing, that they got a plan. They wouldn't be talking this much if they didn't have one, because you'll look like a fool saying that you got a plan, and then it turns out you're looking you got a dumb setup when it's time to get players and stuff like that, man. So I'm trusting Scott Perry, man. I'm really trusting Scott Perry. And I heard, you know, they made a comment too. I saw an article. They were saying how when the draft happened, that there was a faction of the Knicks that wanted Donovan Mitchell, and that was Mills. They said Mills wanted it. So we still got Mills in there. Mills no talent, but the fact that he wanted Donovan Mitchell, we see what happened with Donovan Mitchell. He's looking like a bona fide stud. You see what I'm saying? And Scott Perry was with Detroit when they won that title. Them boys had dogs on defense. You bring David Fizdale there, he's all about defense. The Knicks is going to be back, and that's what I got to say tonight about this whole thing, man. And so far as a player that I'm looking at in the draft, I think we should stick with that ninth spot unless somebody comes up and say, hey, you know, we want to. I agree with Tony Crow. It'd be nice to have a couple picks. You know what I mean? But if somebody say, hey, we'll give you a couple picks for that ninth pick, and you go ahead and make that move, especially with KP being hurt. Especially with him being hurt.
Okay.
And so far as Enes Kanter, I agree with you, man. Kanter, as far as I'm concerned, and people may not like this one, what I'm getting ready to say, but I said this a while back too. It won't hurt me if Kanter go ahead and opt out, man. That'll be money freed up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I like Kanter.
The reason why I say that is not like we gonna be in the playoffs next year, and we as Knicks fans got to get our head out of the clouds, because if we start off, and let's say we start off out of 20 games, we win. Let's say we be 11-8, 11-9. People gonna start hollering, talking about playoffs, man. That's a mediocre team. So we just need to just stick with the program. Get young. Don't chase players like we did in the past that's over the hill and washed up and don't have the mental fortitude to take a team over. Because I heard them was saying today, I was listening to ESPN radio, and they were talking about, on Honey Humphrey, about DeRozan. I'm like, DeRozan? Why you want DeRozan? I mean, he see LeBron's shadow and he can't play.
Yeah. You're right about that. I mean, I never had any faith in Toronto anyway, you know.
Nah, me neither. I don't trust him nor Lowry, man. Them boys, they are regular season players, man.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see when Boston closes this series out with Cleveland, man. I'm excited to see how they play against Golden State, man. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And that's the blueprint. You look at them boys, and boys got long players.
Yep. Exactly.
Everybody play defense, and defense wins, man. You look at them boys, man. Boston is a scary team, man. They're a scary team, and I give my hats off to Danny Ainge. You know what I mean? We just got to stick with our program. Defense, defense, defense. We got enough scoring. You can play defense, you got a chance to win any game, even if you can't score.
Yep. Now, the Knicks, of course they're gonna look at Mikal Bridges. There's rumblings out there that the Bulls may scoop up Mikal Bridges. And if that happens, if the Bulls scoop up Mikal Bridges, then Michael Porter Jr. could be there. But of course, Miles Bridges is probably going to be there. And, I'm looking at this article right now. It just came out maybe a half an hour ago from Mark Berman from the New York Post. It says, Miles Bridges intrigues the Knicks as they prep for a powwow. All right, so I think they're going to meet tomorrow. I listened to his interview today, and what I did like that I heard him, what he said is, he was considering coming out last year. He was considering coming out of the draft, entering the draft last year. He decided, he decided to stay so he can learn how to study film. He said he came into the NCAA after playing AAU ball, and he was still kind of caught in the AAU type of culture, playing the AAU game. So he decided to stay an extra year so that he can learn how to play a more organized game, and he could study film. That impressed me.
Oh yeah, that's a player you want. I mean, hey, athleticism can only take you so far, but what you got between them ears is what's gonna keep you in the league.
Yeah, and he lost 20 pounds, so he can get in shape. He's now at 220, which is a good size for a guy. I mean, he's 6'7", 220. The only thing that concerns me about that is, one, he's gonna have to keep his conditioning up, because if he's 6'7", he's at 220, and he's 19 years old, 20 years old. The older he gets, the bigger he's gonna get. Is he gonna end up being more? Is he going to end up being more of a power forward than a small forward? Is he going to be in the Melo mode? Because Melo, Melo's a small forward.
Melo looked like, when you looked at his body type coming out of college, you can look at him and tell that Melo's going to have that body type to put on pounds.
Yeah.
You can look, when you go back and look at it.
Right.
And you're rather a wiry type small forward than a stocky built type small forward.
Yeah. And Melo, and big shout out to Siobhan Robinson for the super chat. Said DeRozan wore Minions hoodie, hashtag pumpkin pie. But Melo had the body type. He didn't have the small forward that you have today, these long, lanky KD type of guys. Melo's not that.
He wasn't wiry.
Yeah, and neither is Miles Bridges. Right? So my only concern is, does he turn into more of a power forward? But then he's going to be an undersized power forward, kind of like Melo. So I worry about that in the future, unless he keeps himself in phenomenal shape.
And that's what I'm getting ready to say. We won't have to worry about that. You know why? Fizdale came from Pat Riley School. Hey, you gonna be in shape, or you gonna ship out? Moody ate all that extra Jello he been carrying. He gonna have to get it off, or he gonna be on the pine. He won't be in New York, and that's the thing I'm loving.
Right.
Pat Riley, if you weren't in shape, you weren't playing. Even think back to when Shaq was with Pat Riley, and Shaq was on the tail end, about to get on out of there. But Riley got him in the best shape of his career.
Yeah, you're right. And he was asked. Miles was asked about playing in New York. He said, "To me, it's not intimidating. New York is a great city, a lot of tradition. Basketball-wise, it's a great city to play in. In that 7 to 12 pick range is all great fit for me. New York would be a great fit for me, and so would LA." I think that he's more talented or he's more athletic than Mikal Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have it between the ears? That would be, we'd have to look. We'll find out. And that's why Scott Perry and Fizdale and those guys are going to be interviewing tomorrow. Kind of check out what's between his ears.
Yeah, and I tell you, and I agree with that. That's something that got to be checked out. But I'm really feeling Michael Porter, man, and Wendell Carter. And me and BN had a little something in the chat earlier.
Uh-huh.
And Famos made a comment about Bagley, and I agree. I'm a Tar Heel fan, and I watched us play against them boys, man. Bagley is overrated. He can only shoot with the left hand. I don't want no parts of that kind of player. When I look at him, what I see in Bagley is Dwight Howard. That's what I see. Somebody who's gonna rely on athleticism and not gonna put in the time to work. I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid of him. And Michael Porter Jr., man, you just look at him. If it wasn't for that back surgery, he would be probably the number one pick. Between number one and number two pick.
Okay.
That back injury, man. That back surgery messed him up.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see if he drops. We'll see if he drops. You know what? I mean, either way it goes, I think the Knicks are gonna be able to get a good player. Now, I just see somebody in the chat that says something pretty interesting. I want to get your take on this. Daniel Anglero says Perry can't be trusted because he let Dumars pass up on Bosh, Wade, and Melo.
Hey,
now,
you know what? And I'm gonna go ahead and answer that for you, Sim.
Go ahead, because I think I got the answer too. But go ahead.
Hey, Fizz was in a position where he wasn't making the ultimate decision. He was one of the guys with eyes.
Perry.
You know Perry. What I mean? That ultimate decision. Yeah, Perry. Excuse me. The ultimate decision was on Dumars. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Fizz. I mean, I keep saying Fizz, but I'm pretty sure Perry gave his input of who he thought would be. Just like the same example is with Phil and Mills. Mills wanted Donovan Mitchell. We got Neil Aquino because that's who Phil wanted. Phil had the right to veto. He had the right to say who he wanted. Dumas had the right to say what he wanted because ultimately the success of the team is going to be on Dumas and not on Perry.
Right. Exactly.
And so I don't blame Perry for nothing that happened with Detroit. I mean, Perry's a smart guy, man, and everything thus far leads me to believe that this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, man. And I mean, I'm telling you, how high I was on Mark Jackson, man. But if anybody else I would have had to go with, it would have been Fizz, just because of the Riley connection. And you preaching defense, that's something I want to see. I don't care about players running up down the court shooting, because your jumpers ain't gonna fall every night, but your defense is something you can control.
Yep, you're right about that. That's something you can control for sure. Hey, Rondo, man, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Always a pleasure having you call in.
We in the right spot, man. Number 9, we get to watch everybody else make mistakes, and hopefully they drop something right in our lap, just like KP fell to us.
There it is. I think we're gonna have a good draft. I'm hoping that Perry can pull off some moves, and do some things there. Pull off some moves and make something happen. But hey,
Knicks will be back.
For sure.
We are back.
All right, Ronald. Peace, man. Appreciate the call. My man, Nicholas, you on the line?
Hold on, let me just pause this background.
All right.
All right.
All right, my man. What's up, Nicholas? What's up, Nick? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. How you like the team, the management?
I love what we're doing. I love what we're doing. We're saying the right things, at least.
Yep.
I'm in love with that for real.
It's refreshing, right?
Definitely. Because we're saying the right things. Of course, we still got to implement those things. You know what I'm saying? We still got to implement them. We still got to make it happen. But it starts with saying it. Starts with thought. I believe that I believe that Scott Perry is organized enough and has the skill to actually implement these things. So, and Steve Mills, I think, has those skills as well.
Yeah.
You know, they may not have always been on display because he hasn't always been the guy. He's always been one of the guys that's in there, but never had that final decision-making power.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's you know, we'll see what they can do, but I think they're on the right path.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Ron was the one who was before me. I just listening to him speak, and somewhere one of the conversations, I got so much that I want to say that y'all like brought up early on. First, let me talk about the trades that Tony Crow and everybody was talking about. Number one, I think an interesting trade would be to trade 2019's pick to try to get Michael Porter. That would be pretty interesting.
Say that again. I missed that.
Okay. Trade 2019 pick to get Michael Porter.
Okay. And somebody else said trade up to get Mo Bamba. Trade that 2019 pick to move up and get Mo Bamba.
All right. Well, okay, so I've been listening to scouts talk about college basketball and Mo Bamba since 2016, sorry. So the scouting report on Mo Bamba, and one of the things he said in high school, Mo Bamba actually said that he didn't even like basketball. I wouldn't hold that to him. I think he actually does like the game, and he will be a good player. I just don't think he'll be great. So the guy who brought up on Mo Bamba with KP, he got to realize one thing about Mo Bamba. He doesn't have the foot speed on the perimeter to guard guards. So like KP doesn't have that either, but they'll defend the rim. In today's pick and roll, search for the best matchup before you take a shot type basketball, you can't put two guys like that are slow-footed on the perimeter, because just like how they try to get Steph Curry inside a switch pick and roll just so they could pick on his defense, it's the same way they're going to do the same thing with Mo Bamba, KP, and they can't keep up with the foot speed out there on the perimeter. I don't think that'll be a good pick. A guy like Jaren Jackson actually would give you the same defensive equity that Mo Bamba would, but he's better on the perimeter because he could, like the scouts, they brought up that Jaren Jackson is the big version of McCall Bridges. He does all the little things.
Okay.
So Jaren Jackson would be a better big to go after. Not saying that Mo Bamba can't be good for us. It just, like, ultimately we want to get into the playoffs, so I don't think that'll work. That's just my take. What was the other one? Of course, I don't think we should get Trae Young, even though I think he will be good, but with our logjam at point guard, I don't think it'll work. There was something that was interesting because that the scouts actually brought up about next year's draft. They said that next year's draft actually would be one of the worst. It'll be like 2015.
A weak draft. Yeah, I did hear that. That it'd be a weaker draft.
It's going to be a weaker draft. So trading that 2019 pick might not be a bad idea. The downfall to that is that KP, he's hurt, so we may end up getting a high draft pick.
Exactly.
So that's the trade-off. It's give or take, because if Michael Porter truly is generational, let's say, then we should go after Michael Porter and, try to keep the 9th pick too. If he falls to us, take him. I still think McCall Bridges would be better because he's better on defense. But, okay, this is my take on Michael Porter. A lot of people said he's good. I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly with Michael Porter.
Okay.
The scout said he was watching Michael Porter since high school, right? Mm-hmm. He said, and Michael Porter actually played at a high school right next to his house or something like this, real close to his house. So he saw every Michael Porter high school game, AAU game, and also he observed him in college. So what he said about Michael Porter, and you got to take this to the bank too. His father is a coach. Look at his other brother, Jonte Porter. Jonte, his IQ is very high. And it's the same thing with Michael Porter. They both got really high IQs.
Okay.
Michael Porter could shoot lights out. So he could give you that kind of Kevin Durant, type player, Brandon Ingram, but just more size and could shoot. Mm-hmm. He can't play defense. And there was one thing that the scouts said, because there was like 4 scouts in conversation. They were talking about Michael Porter. And he brought up one thing about Michael Porter. He said in an AAU game against Marvin Bagley, Michael Porter shut down Marvin Bagley.
Okay.
So he could play defense. I just don't think, he said he can't play good defense on good threes. So he probably won't be able to defend LeBron from a foot speed standpoint, but he could probably defend, say, Paul George, who's a little bit slower. He could probably defend, Melo. And then also he could defend some bigs, like, say, what's Denver's big? Jokic. Or he might be able to defend Kristaps. He's that big and that strong. I'm not worried about the back injury because you can recover from that pretty well. I just think he should be on a minutes restriction if we do get him, or whoever gets him.
Okay. So do you think he's fully recovered? Because at this point, he played a few games in college. Mm-hmm. He's got, from now until, November. Until November, but he'll probably play in July in the summer leagues, right?
Yeah.
Do you think by the time November comes, he'd still need a minutes restriction?
It'll be best for him to have a minutes restriction. And the reason why I say that, and my work background, I'm in healthcare.
Okay.
I work in the ER. I've worked on orthopedic floors. This was something else I wanted to bring up. Just side note, Kristaps is doing really well. And he's doing everything that I've seen that you're supposed to do to recover from a knee injury. And I actually think he may be able to start the regular season. And he will be good to start, if he does start, with a minutes restriction. Back to Michael Porter. The reason why I say you can start Michael Porter or draft him and he will recover fine is because no one has brought anything about a nerve problem. Like back, when you think back, you should think nerves.
Okay.
So with him, he doesn't seem like he has any deficit or any pain when he plays. At least I didn't see any grimace on his face when he played or ran. He looked like he was out of breath and out of shape. Key thing here is we have our developmental staff, Craig Robinson, and also Fizdale. Fizdale is about physical fitness. So if you put Michael Porter in like a minutes restriction at first, so that the physical aspect of him could be developed, like the wind and stuff like that, build strength in his back, to put muscle around the area that was injured, you wouldn't have an issue going forward. At least not for the next 5 years. That rookie contract. So I don't think that's an issue.
Okay.
That's just my take from, being around back injuries and stuff like that.
Okay. It's good take. Hey, Nicholas, man, I appreciate the call. Move on. I got some other people that's trying to call in. Always appreciate the insight.
Hey, no problem, man. Is what I want to write an article. I think you have space on your website to write articles and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to find the free time. I'm working like crazy, but one of these days before the draft, I'm trying to put up an article out there for you.
Okay.
I'll let you and shoot your email about it and let you read it first.
Yeah, no doubt. Without a doubt. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, peace, man. Thank you for the call.
All right, peace. Shout out to the chat. Your Blackest Time. Y'all have a good night.
No doubt. Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah, interesting insight. And we're gonna get to that KP rehab in a minute. But before we get there, I wanted to bring up I wanted to look at Scott Perry. You guys probably seen it on the screen a little bit ago. We were talking about Scott Perry's draft history. So let's take a look at it. All right. This is an article from the Daily News by Stephen Bondi. All right, so let's take a look. In 2000, he drafted, I don't want to say he drafted, but he was part of a regime that drafted Mateen Cleaves with Detroit, right? Because obviously, he was not the guy, right? He was a member of the Pistons front office from 2000 to 2012. All right. He helped draft Mateen Cleaves. 2001, Rodney White with the 9th pick. 2002, Tayshaun Prince with the 23rd pick. 2003, this is a tough one, right? He drafted Darko Milicic when he could have drafted Melo, Chris Bosh, or Dwayne Wade. And other guys that were drafted after him, 2003 with the 25th pick, Carlos Delfino. Okay, didn't do much in the NBA, obviously. 2005 with the 26th pick, they drafted Jason Maxiell. With Seattle / OKC, 2007, Kevin Durant. That's not too hard of a pick to get right. But still, he still was not the man. He is part of a regime, part of a group. Okay, he doesn't have the final call. 2009, the 15th pick, he drafted Austin Day. 2010, with the 7th pick, he helped to draft Greg Monroe. 2011, with the 8th pick, Brandon Knight. With Orlando, with the 19th pick in 2012, Andrew Nicholson. 2013 with the 2nd pick, Victor Oladipo. Okay, Oladipo has come into his own now, obviously. Okay. 2014 with the 14th pick. 2014 with the 4th pick, Aaron Gordon. 2014 with the 10th pick, Alfred Payton. 2015 with the 5th pick, Mario Hezonja. With Sacramento, 2017 with the 5th pick, De'Aaron Fox. So, it's kind of up and down, but hey, you're not going to get it right every time. Sometimes you're going to get it right, sometimes you're going to get it wrong. I believe that he has a strong team around him and they're doing the right things. And, I'm going to trust in their picks. I'm going to trust in them. Because, the only thing I can say is for all of these picks here, he was not the head guy to make the final decision. He was part of a team, part of a group. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Of course, with the Knicks, he is the guy, and, the final call is on him. So whatever happens is on him. All right, so, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and see what he does there. I want to give a shout out to Reggie Knight. He says Michael Porter Jr. could be a power forward, could be better at power forward than small forward. I don't know. He looks long and athletic. Maybe when he gets a little bit older and he puts on a little bit more weight, puts on some pounds, I can see you saying it there. Now I think Miles Bridges looks like he definitely eventually may end up being a power forward. You know what I'm saying? T. Reed, yeah, you're probably right. Final call is on Mills. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a team, a team effort. I haven't really taken a look at each one of their responsibilities and duties. the president. What is the president in charge of, and what is your general manager in charge of? I guess that would depend on who's going to have the final say. So that we'd have to know what they're doing inside the world of MSG as far as their power structure, and we know the power structure, but their responsibilities and those type of things. But let's talk about KP. Let's get on to KP, because I'm pretty sure that everyone has seen some of the talk about his rehab, and that KP is rehabbing very well. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring this article up so I can show you the article. Article from the New York Post talking about KP and his rehab, and they kind of call, in this article, they talk about how he has an unusual relationship with the New York Knicks. It's definitely been a different kind of relationship from the beginning. Right from the beginning, you had the little boy crying because he was drafted to the Knicks, and then he came to the Knicks, and Phil Jackson was here. Then he was supposed to be a project. He ended up starting his first year, which was good, obviously. But then he's going, then he had to go through different coaches, Derek Fisher and Kurt Rambis, and then Jeff Hornacek, and he didn't have a great relationship with Jeff Hornacek. Didn't want to go to the, skipped out on his exit meeting. Now, the media, makes a big whip about him rehabbing in Real Madrid. Do they have a rocky relationship for real? Maybe so. Maybe they do. I think that Fizdale can help to repair this relationship. I think he can help repair the relationship, but talking about his injury, from what doctors are saying, he's ahead of schedule, which is definitely a good thing. We want him to be ahead of schedule. We still don't want him to rush it. If I'm the Knicks, when it gets to that point that we're ready to, when it gets to that point that we are ready to give a timetable, I'm pushing the timetable out to the fans. If the doctors say he can come back in November, I'm telling the fans he'll be back in December, late December or January. I want to give that time. I want to give that buffer. And then if he does come back early, it just looks good on him, But, and caller that just called in, I'm gonna get to you in a minute. I just want to continue to go through this, and then we'll get you on the line. Okay. But looking at, it says by Mark Berman, this was yesterday, 12:28 p.m. Knicks' unusual Kristaps Porzingis relationship continues with Spain rehab. Kristaps Porzingis has not been doing most of his ACL rehab in Latvia as previously thought, but secretly working in Spain with Real Madrid, according to multiple sources. Porzingis has conducted much of his offseason rehab in Madrid at his training facility that houses his superpower basketball and soccer clubs. Real Madrid's basketball team is in the Final Four of the Euro League and features top 3 lottery pick Luka Doncic and ex-Knicks point guard Chazon Randle. Unless the Knicks trade up from the 9th draft pick, Porzingis and Doncic, and I know I'm killing his name, will not be teammates in New York. Blah, 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 blah. So we know all of that. Okay. His doctor, Carlin Coker, says KP is doing great in Madrid. Carlin Coker is a performance-based performance doctor based in Greenwich, Connecticut. His aggressive rehab is at a jaw-dropping rate. This is from his performance doctor. In conjunction, his body is already looking beastly. By September, he'll be almost non-recognizable with his shirt off, while working on increasing his lean muscle mass and also training for functionality and ruggedness to complement his game. That all sounds well and fine. That sounds great. I hope that this is exactly what is happening with KP. Because we need KP to come back ready. We don't want him to come back and then have to deal with going out every couple of months because of a knee injury. He's got to get his knee rescoped to get something cleaned out of his knee. That's going to happen eventually. But we want him to come back and be ready, be 100%. That's what that's what we want. That's what we need from KP. That's what this team needs. You know what I mean? Caller, what's popping with you, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, Sam. Just want to say, big fan. Been watching the show from London, staying up all morning, even though it's exam time. I have to stay up because I always watch the show. Appreciate everything you do.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. Big shout out to London over there, over in the UK, giving us a lot of love in the US, man. But make sure don't make sure your studies is right though, for sure.
Yeah, of course. I'm on I haven't got an exam for another week, so that's why I've been staying up. But just want to get on to the Knicks now. About I just want to talk about now the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, I know it's going way ahead, but I'm just looking at the pieces that we got right now, Ntilikina, Porzingis, and with Ntilikina, I know because I'm just seeing Warriors. I don't think they're gonna lose no matter what happens. If LeBron goes to the Rockets, if anything happens, I just see the Warriors going for at least another 5 years, even though they haven't gone back to back yet. Okay. But I think that Ntilikina, he can match up with Steph Curry. He can lock him up. So that's the point guard. I know he's still raw. We don't know what he's gonna be like, but potentially I feel like he could not lock down, but he could slow down Curry a little bit.
Right. Okay. And I agree with you there. I don't think he's going. Obviously, no one's really going to shut him down, but he can bother him a little bit, especially he's long.
Yeah, his wingspan is crazy. Oh my god. But what we need now is just a wing. We just need a small forward. I know Scott Perry said that we're just getting the best talent. We're in was it best talent mode? So I can't remember what he said.
Yeah. Talent acquisition mode. We're in talent acquisition mode right now.
Yeah, I agree with him, but I don't know with the point guard. I really believe in it. I know a lot of people in the chat don't shout out to the chat, but I know a lot of people don't rate Ntilikina like that. But I just see him being really special. Like he's got the mindset. He's got the wingspan. He's got the body. He's got everything. And I don't know. I know Jarrett Jack's a bit old, and we already got a lot of point guards. We got Trey, but Moody. I don't know. Moody is too. I don't feel like I don't think he has the mindset. I know he hasn't done a lot, but from what I've seen so far, I don't know. Obviously, we shouldn't keep him for another year, but from Moody, what do you think about him? I don't
see. I'm concerned about Moodie's work ethic. I think he has the ability. He has the talent. I'm concerned about his work ethic. Does he work? See, when he came to the Knicks, when we traded for him, he looked flabby to me. Right now, I understand he wasn't getting the playing time that he wanted to get, but I think if you're a professional in the NBA, if you're not getting that playing time, then you stay in shape.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You stay in shape and you do the things that you need to do. And I don't think I think you're right. He doesn't have the mindset or the work ethic to get it done.
Even when I was watching the press conference and when David Fizdale, I'm happy. He wasn't my first choice. I wanted Budenholzer, but I'm still happy with Fizdale. But when he said we're gonna get to work, I feel like Moody in his head was like, oh no. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm happy we got him because I'm not happy. Sorry, I'm happy we got Fizdale because he's gonna make him work. And if he can't hack it, then well, we can. He's got 1 year left, so we'll just use him as an expiring contract.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got two more things, quick things to say.
Okay.
The reason why I started watching basketball was because of Melo. I am the biggest Melo defender. People hate on me for doing that, and I feel like he got a raw deal in OKC. I don't think that system suited him there. I don't think that Westbrook was putting him in the right position, the right shots. He's a rhythm shooter, and I don't think Westbrook was putting him in the right position. I personally feel, I know he won't. I know 28 million is a lot. I know he's not gonna give that up, but I think that he should opt out and go to Houston because CP3's there. Maybe LeBron might go there. They got. I know Mike and D'Antoni had a little problem, but that was because of they didn't have a point guard in New York. But now they got two in Houston, so I feel like he would suit Houston a lot. What do you think about that?
I think that, well, one, I think, we think alike because I am a big Melo fan. I think that you're exactly right. Melo is definitely a rhythm player. That's the reason when you see Melo catch the ball in that mid post and he jab step, and then shoot, he's getting his rhythm. Right? You can see Melo take dribble. He's getting his rhythm. Same thing when the ball is moving. If the ball is moving in rhythm, then Melo has time to get his body in rhythm, catch it, shoot. Melo is a rhythm guy, and I don't think that Russell Westbrook was good at getting the team to operate in rhythm. And I think that's part of, as well as Melo's age. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
his age is going to contribute to, him not playing as well. But I think a lot of it had to do with just not being able to find a good rhythm there in OKC. I think Melo's going to have to concede a little bit of what he does and agree to possibly come off the bench at some point.
No, I have to disagree with that one because I just feel like, let me give you an example. I know he's a point guard, but Rajon Rondo, when he was at the Kings, when he went to, he had beef with Rick Carlisle during the playoffs, but now he's in New Orleans. I was always saying how Rondo, like you were saying, I wanted him to be in the Knicks. I think he would have suited the triangle better as well and all of that. But see how his career is revitalized now. He's going to get a big contract now this summer.
Well, see, the thing that I think about with Melo, the reason why I say it is because I think Melo's going to have a hard time guarding threes on the perimeter, and then he can guard fours. He can take fours out on the perimeter and be able to beat them, but he can guard them down low, but he's going to take a lot of abuse guarding fours down low. And I don't think that Melo, I think he can still be a starter in the league, but I think if you're going to go to like a team like Houston, then you may have to say, okay, I'm going to take a back seat. If you're going to a team that's just going to be a fringe playoff team or maybe a middle of the pack playoff team, then maybe he's still starting small forward, maybe power forward. But I think if you're gonna go to a team like Houston, they already have a rhythm going, right? And it wouldn't make sense to me to have Melo come in just because he's Melo and then start over Trevor Ariza, even though maybe he could, because they already have a thing going, a nice rhythm going with Trevor Ariza there. I think you bring Melo off the bench, and Melo still can get his 30 minutes a game. I think he's gonna have to. That's just my opinion. I think at some point he's gonna have to accept it. If not, then he's gonna be out the league like Allen Iverson.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that. I understand what you're saying, but I feel like if he does go to Houston, I really want him to, but I know he won't because of the money, obviously.
Yeah.
But if he does go to Houston, I think they should let him start it off. If it doesn't go well, then obviously demote him to the bench.
Okay. We'll see what happens. I think that it's going to be in Melo. It's in Melo's hands. Does he want Does he want that money, or does he want to try to go to Houston? I think he'll work perfectly with Chris Paul though.
And just last thing now about the draft. I know everyone's talking about the first round, but I'm really, because this draft is really deep. So I'm really intrigued with our second round pick, and I really feel like hopefully if he does fall to us, I really want him to get, even though he's really raw, Hamidou Diallo. Do you know him?
Okay, yeah, and
He's very athletic.
He's someone that maybe we could get in that second round.
Like, he's really athletic. In the draft today, he was second behind Grayson Allen in the lane thing.
Yeah. Yep,
so he's got the tools and everything, but he's just, the only problem is very raw. So I don't know what Porzingis would, because I'm kind of worried about Porzingis, like, if he wants to leave New York, like, because he's kind of I think he has a little bit of a sour relationship, but I think Scott Perry's trying to bring it back. And,
and I think Scott Perry and David Fizdale, I think they're gonna work on him and try to get it back. Hey man, hey, what's your name?
Rafi.
Rafi?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey man, hey, I appreciate the call. I definitely appreciate your call. You calling all the way from London, staying up late at night to check out the show. Definitely appreciate it, man. Much love to you.
I'm gonna try and call back as well soon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you anyway.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, peace. Talking about KP. You know, KP and shout out to anyone that's anywhere, you know, if you in the UK, Australia, France, of course the US, you know, big shout out to everybody for jumping on with me. I appreciate it. Let's talk about KP some more though, because obviously his rehab is going well. His performance doctor says he's definitely bulking up, so I'm interested to see what he's looking like. I'm pretty sure we'll get to see a little bit more on his YouTube channel. But his relationship is rocky. It's definitely rocky. And Fizdale, Scott Perry, it's up to them to change it. You know what I'm saying? If KP is that guy, like Fizdale says, he thinks KP can be an MVP candidate player in the NBA. And I don't think he's wrong. I think he can be. I think that KP has the work ethic. I think he has the drive. Now, can we get the coaching around him and can we get the players around him that's going to help elevate him to that level? You know, that's going to be, you know, that's the next important thing. Can we get those people around him to elevate him? But we've got to repair this relationship. If there's anything to be repaired, we've got to repair it. You know, we've got to make some things right. And that's going to be incumbent upon David Fizdale. But he has a plan. Right? He has a plan. And he talked about this plan in the interview. You know, he talked about how he wants to, you know, he's going to get to know KP's family and just understand what they want for KP and what they're looking for the future and those type of things. Right. And that's good to know that it sounds like the right plan. Because his family, KP's family, is obviously, you know, they're close and they're really involved with KP's career and their development and his development, you know. So here it is. David Fizdale's Porzingis plan, European shuttle diplomacy. Knicks coach David Fizdale doesn't want to make just one trip to Latvia, but multiple, in a push to establish a strong rapport with Kristaps Porzingis. Indeed, Fizdale, appearing at the draft combine here in Chicago, said that connecting with Porzingis is his biggest goal this summer. The new coach said he wants to visit Porzingis' hometown of Latvia, Liepaja, Latvia, however you say it. Learn everything there is to know about the 7'3" franchise player and erase any awkwardness Porzingis has with the Knicks organization. Fizdale said he hasn't set a date for his first trip as he finalizes his coaching staff and his move to New York, but he estimates it will be before the June 21st draft. Fizdale, quoting Fizdale, he says, multiple times, maybe over the course of the summer, I want him to feel something different. I want him to feel something that when he comes back here is going to be special for him. He's walking back into a culture and an environment that's set up for winning. That's my biggest goal this summer, is to really bond with him and connect with him and get insight from him. You know, people talk a lot about Fizdale and his relationship with players because of what happened with Marc Gasol, but that doesn't sound to me like someone who has trouble relating to players. I think that was an isolated incident with Gasol, and I think he's going to have develop a good relationship with KP. You know, and it's what's needed. It's what's needed, and I think, you know, he'll need to make sure that his assistant coaches have a good relationship with KP, and not just KP, with every player. The head coach, your assistant coaches, you know, you've got to know how to develop that kind of rapport. Like I said, not long ago, I had to let go of an assistant coach because of the way that he addressed players, and I didn't think it was appropriate. And those type of things can bring down your team, can hurt your team, can bring down the energy of the team. You know. So, you know, let's see what we'll see what he does. Emmanuel C says, sounds like it's a lot of ass kissing going on with Fizdale and KP. I hope it's not that. You know what I mean? I think that you can go visit and make moves to build that connection without brown nosing. You know what I mean? So, because the worst thing will be if players feel that KP, you know, has the red carpet, and that everything is going to be catered towards him. That's why Kyrie wanted to leave Cleveland. That's why you get some players who do not want to play with LeBron, regardless if he's going to help them win a championship, because everything is catered to LeBron James, right? Kyrie was tired of being the stepchild. We don't want to have that kind of thing with KP. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a set of standards. You want to get to know him, develop a relationship with him, but if we have standards, he's got to abide by those standards like anybody else. But I don't think it's a bad thing to start developing that relationship with KP. You know, start developing that relationship, and you know, see if we can make it work. I think we can make it work. I think KP wants to be in New York. He wants the big stage. He wants the spotlight. He seems to have the personality to be able to handle it. You know. So we'll see if we can patch up that relationship and start to really build something here. Because if we're going to build something, you know, then KP needs to be part of it. You know what I mean? Emmanuel, you say you're not feeling his previous actions. What do you mean by that? His previous actions. Are you saying his previous actions with Marc Gasol? Give me your take on that right there. And while I'm waiting for Emmanuel to give me his take, you know, we're still Fizdale still in the coaching search for assistant coaches, right? Van Exel's out. Woodson is available, and I'm hoping that happens. You know what I'm saying? I know there's some people that still say, you know, he's been blamed. Woodson's been considered the scapegoat for the Los Angeles Clippers defensive woes. People complain about you know, all of the switching going on with the Knicks back when he was coaching the Knicks, and I agree. I didn't like all of the switching. There were times when the switching definitely hurt us. I'm not gonna lie. But you know, the Warriors switch. They do a lot of switching. Depends on what kind of players you have, man. If you have players that are the same size and height and length across the board for the most part, then you can switch. But you got to have defenders, and you got to have guys who know how to switch, know how to communicate on the court. Not every team can just switch like that because the communication isn't that good, and guys don't have the same kind of defensive basketball IQ, you know. Emmanuel, see, you say KP is a bit of a diva. You know what? I agree with you there. I think he is a bit of a diva. I'm not even gonna say bit of a diva. He's a diva, and he'll continue growing into that diva-ness. But maybe this injury brought him down a little bit, because maybe he realized, hey, I can lose my career at any moment. I gotta leave this diva stuff alone. I don't know. We'll see how that goes when he gets back. But the Knicks still trying to fill in that assistant coach's spot. Fizdale is expected to bring in Keith Smart. Van Exel is out. Mike Woodson is still available. Hopefully, I'd like to get that wrapped up soon. I'm pretty sure we'll get it wrapped up soon. And if they got to take their time, take their time and get it done. Howard Eyes looks like someone that could possibly stick around. So hopefully they get that those assistant coaches out the way, and it's going to be guys that's going to, all guys that can develop good relationships with the players. But good relationships doesn't mean you're letting guys get away with stuff. A good relationship means that you can you can develop a strong bond with the player, but you can also discipline the player. That's the kind of coaches we need. So let's get back to KP, because I see a lot of conversation about KP in the chat. Talking about him being a diva and those things, which he is. And then I see some people talking about the possibility of trading KP. You probably still could trade KP right now if you really wanted to. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that people will actually. I don't think people are going to offer a whole heck of a lot. Well, they'll offer something, but it's not going to be what you think you could probably get for him right now, because of they need to see what he's going to be like when he gets back. We need to see what he's going to be like when he gets back. I don't think that Scott Perry coming in, I don't know if he wants that PR hit. You know what I mean? To trade KP. I don't know if he wants that PR hit, unless KP is really like, I want to go. I don't want to be here. Other than that, I don't think he wants that PR hit. Not right now. That'd be a crazy big move. Crazy big move. I think the best thing that they can do is, get to know him and his family. Because like you guys are saying, his brother's a big part of what he does. His brother is his manager, agent, whatever it is. His family is a big part of what he does. Get to know the family, get a sense of what they think about the future of the team, what they would like to see happen with KP in the future, and then start making your moves from there. I see Tony Crow just asked me what I think about Beasley, and if we should re-sign Beasley. I think that with Beasley, everything is going to depend on how much money he wants, what other teams. I think you let Beasley go out there and set a market rate. I think you let Beasley go out there and talk to other teams. Let those teams say what they'll pay for him, and then you decide if you think he's that valuable for this team. You know what I'm saying? I like Beasley. I like what he can bring to the team coming off the bench. I don't know if Beasley is your what do I want to say? I don't know if he's like the vet that you go to help mentor the young guys, but he's a guy that can come in to be a spark plug. and give you a little bit of something off the bench. So, I don't have a problem re-signing Beasley on the right kind of contract. On the right kind of contract, I think Beasley can help the team for sure. I see BN said that KP is not a diva. I disagree. I think he is. He's got some divaness in him for sure. He definitely has some divaness in him. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you can control it, Nothing wrong with it at all. As long as you can control it. But I think my time is up for tonight, folks. It's 11:16. We've been on for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Pretty good show. We had some good callers call in. I'll definitely be watching the combine tomorrow. And if there's anything, I don't plan on being on tomorrow, but if there's anything really interesting that happens, then I'll jump on. Or I may do, another video or whatever. But I will definitely be on Saturday after the game. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to set a time. So the game starts at 8:30. Right? The Celtics and the Cavaliers start at 8:30. I'm going to come on at 11. 11 o'clock, I'll be on. Even if the game is still on, I'll watch the game and be on at the same time. Okay, so I'm definitely going to be on at 11 o'clock. I'm going to set it. Hopefully you guys get a notification that says, that I set up an event or whatever. All right, so I'll be on at 11 o'clock on Saturday night. And if anything happens, anything really interesting happens tomorrow, I might jump on real quick. If not, then I'll save it all until Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody for jumping on, joining me. People from across seas, everywhere. I am definitely working on this way so we can have some people come in and debate. So if you're interested in debating, hit me up in the comments or whatever it is. We'll have a lineup or something like that, and we'll figure out how to do it. But and we'll have some topics. I'll give you guys a little bit of chance to prepare about whatever it is. We'll talk about the topics. But hit me in the comment section. Also, I need you guys, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook too. If you go to my page, youtube.com/nothing-but-Knicks, you can link right to my Twitter or my Facebook. I'm gonna put it in the description. So if you guys are on those platforms, follow me on those platforms. I'll follow you back. We can, so we can talk and because I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and keep this thing moving forward. But definitely hit me up in the comments and let me know that you'd like to get on this debate thing so we can get that thing popping. All right. I'm out. Like I said, I'll see you guys Saturday night for sure, 11 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Have a good one. Good rest of the week. Get your weekend started off right. Peace. I'm out. If you enjoyed this stream, please subscribe below. Ring the bell. Get a notification anytime that I go live. I'll be back on Saturday night for sure at 11 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see you there. Peace.